With almost all the other sales finishing, Cubic Games and friends have doubled down to bring you the second part of their Winterfest. If you remember the other day, you had to own some of their previous games to take part, but things have changed a little bit, and I also mentioned a giveaway. Now, I'm sure you might have heard already, but they are giving away a load of Nintendo Switch OLEDs. How exactly do you win them? Well, you have to buy one of the games in this sale, and then in the month of December, simply be creative. What does that mean exactly? Well, with Cubic Games, Untold Tales, All In Games, Tate Multimedia, or Naptime Games having published these titles, they're going to award prizes in several different categories that you can see on screen, and your creation can be something related to the game that's an image, video, review, blog, pretty much anything, and then you'll put it up on Twitter and use the hashtag #CubicWinterfest and #BeCreativeContest. They're also giving away 20, 50 euro and US dollar eShop cards. And you can also submit more than one entry. Thanks to Cubic and Friends for sponsoring this one. Okay, what are the games on this sale? Well, let's find out. First up then, we've got the adventure Paradise Lost, which releases December 3rd and is discounted by 40%. This one's set in a fictional universe where Nazis essentially won the war, and it actually reminds me of a book with a similar principle to that, but you play as a small boy here who's investigating a Nazi bunker. It all plays out in the first person. We've had quite a lot of these survival horror style first person adventures, but by all accounts this is quite a nice one with decent storytelling. It's been out on other platforms, but it arrives on the Switch on the 3rd of December with a 40% discount.
Your allegiance to the gods. That was the agreement. And you have stood by your word.
Another one that I mentioned the other day is Real Boxing 2. It's a nice little boxing game with many customizations. You can create a character, tweak every part of them, and then deck them out in the gear that you want. There's training montages, obviously, and the combat is a little bit more nuanced than simply bashing their faces in. There are perk abilities that improve your potency when punching, and with the 40% discount, the price seems to be on point. Oh, the alliteration game is on fire today. In all seriousness though, this was available back on mobile, and it was good. It was quite a nice little boxing game, and that's certainly a genre which is a little underrepresented on the Switch. Next up then is Om Nom Run. This one's 20% off, and it looks to be a form of competitive endless runner with over 120 levels, different power-ups to collect, 4 different types of missions, campaign, collecting tokens, performing tricks, or finding different letters, and there are 20 different characters that you can play as. It has a 310 megabyte download, and at the moment is 20% off. I believe I had it as one of my hidden gems at one point, is Beautiful Desolation. Now, when this was first announced, I thought it was like a Baldur's Gate style isometric adventure, but it's not that at all. It's quite unusual actually. It is isometric, but it combines puzzling, adventure, and a really strange storyline that was actually quite gripping. The thing you've got to realise with this one is it does feel initially quite clunky, and it doesn't hit all the marks right, but there's enough here for me to make it quite an interesting choice, especially on a sales pickup at 50% off. There are over 40 different characters here, and everyone's fully voice acted, and it carries a download size of 11.8 gigs.
An African sci-fi adventure like no other. A far-flung futuristic era ruled by highly advanced technologies that are both revered and reviled. You are escaped.
Then we got the Badland Game of the Year edition, which is slashed by 50% down to $2.99 or $2.69 here in the UK. It's a great game, very fun, was available back on mobile way back in the day, but don't let that detract you. It uses that silhouette art style we've seen in a few games like Limbo, and essentially imagine if you combine something like Flappy Bird, so you're having to keep this creature afloat, but then every time you go past other ones they join him, but then there are loads of obstacles and machinery to work your way through, and there will be many a casualty on your trip through each of the, I believe, over 100 stages. There's also co-op here, and that's a whole lot of fun. For this price, it's well worth picking up. This one's got a download size of 864 megs. Hong Kong Massacre is a top-down action title and feels like a homage to John Woo films and Max Payne. There's a bullet time slowdown mechanic here, lots of dual-wielding pistol action, tons of environmental destruction, and just general mayhem. You can dive through windows, dodge behind cover, and it's one shot, one kill. There are also different side challenges, optional ones that you can take part in, and loads of new weapons to unlock. This one's 4.2 gigs, and I believe it's 50% off, but in my region it's showing up as full price. It might be one of those where you have to own the other game or one of the other titles before it shows up. In the other Winterfest video we did, I talked a little bit about the Urban Trial Playground game, which was, I believe, 90% off. Well, they also have Urban Trial Tricky, which is also either 87 or 90% depending on what region you're in. They're really fun games. They're all about performing different tricks and working your way through the stages, trying to get the highest score multipliers and not break every bone in your body. You can customize and tweak your bikes and learn different tricks to perform. It's like the evolution of those old games. Do you remember you used to play them on the internet and you'd be trying to get the skateboarding person down the course without falling and destroying yourself? Feels like an evolved form of that. Very fun, good music, and at this price, well, it's like what, €1.49, $1.99? It's nothing.
Awesome!
It is always my absolute pleasure to mention my favourite game from Cubic, and that is Akane. Akane is a top-down loading game. What's a loading game? It's a game that you play when you're trying to decide what else you should be playing. You stick it on and you slice up a few people, and by the time you're done, you're thinking, actually, do you know what? Yeah, I know, I'm going to go and play a bit of this. I mean, it might be a couple of hours later. It's a one slice, one kill game where you also have a pistol, but it's very cool. The music's so good. You'll find yourself almost dancing, doing a couple of shots. What was that film, Equilibrium? Do you remember that one with the gun Carter? It was a bit like that. And then every 100 kills, I believe, there's a boss fight, which again is one kill, one hit, one kill, and you're just trying to get the highest scores. You gradually unlock different guns, and yeah, it's just a very cool game that I've plumbed a lot of time into, and at the moment it's 80% off. Then you've got Pocket Mini Golf, which is 50% off depending on where you are. It's quite simplistic. It's 50 different levels. It's a cutesy arcade, up to 4-player mini golf game essentially. A nice one to stick the kids on while the rest of the adults are off on Christmas Day sampling the brandy butter. I sound like I've sampled a bit of brandy butter myself. Don't let the simplistic looks fool you though. This one can get quite competitive, and it is nice being able to do the 4-player all on one console. That's always appreciated. It's only got a 397 megabyte download, and it is going to set you back a mere 89p here in the UK. That's a 50% reduction. Remember, with a lot of the games here as well, not this one, but with a lot of the Cubic ones, you can save even more if you already own one of their other titles. There's a demo of Tools Up available. I didn't realise that. I'd strongly recommend giving it a go if you're interested. This is a renovation game where up to 4 of you try and do exactly that, renovate a property. It's a perfect Christmas game really. Stick this one on with the family, 4 of you get round the screen, and much hilarity ensues. Or at least that's what should happen. In my house we all end up shouting at each other, which is equally fun. It's just different strokes really. It's currently 85% off, so well, I think that's the biggest it's ever been on sale. So it might be worth giving that one a little bash. At least check out the demo. That one has a download size of about 2 gigs. One roguelite that I really enjoy, have enjoyed since it came out, and then they improved it a bit with some DLC, is Manaspark. Manaspark it's a classic roguelite. If you've played things like The Binding of Isaac, Enter the Gungeon, any of those really, they follow a very similar premise, and it's no different here. It combines a nice mixture of handcrafted elements as well as some procedural generation to keep it fresh for each run. There are some nice boss fights, but you'll find inhabitants that will then join your village. They'll help you out, and they then make the subsequent runs easier for you. This one is a mere 469 megs. And yeah, here in the UK it's only 89p, 90% off. Last but not least then, we've got the Kafka-inspired Metamorphosis. I really enjoyed this game. I love quirky, I love surreal, and this combines those elements. You basically morph from a human being into a bug, but I love the perspective shift and how many of the puzzles will find you navigating your way around human beings that will be having these very strange conversations. You can climb up vertical surfaces, and it has that Alice in Wonderland meets Grimm's fairy tales atmosphere to it. If you're also a fan of the surreal, then you might enjoy the story here. It's currently 70% off, so it's just £6.74 here in the UK or your regional equivalent. And if the idea of playing as a first-person bug intrigues you, well then, give this one a look. It has a download size of 4.4 gigs. So that's it. Remember, as I say, if you own some of the other games in the list or some of the other Cubic games, then you may find that these prices are even cheaper, so go check them out. Thanks to Cubic for sponsoring this episode. We do get to choose. We get to pick and choose the games that we want to select. So for that one person that said, oh, it's a sponsored video. Yes, it is a sponsored video, but we chose the ones that we like. Plus, why haven't you played Akane yet? It's awesome. Thanks to our patrons and to all of you that enjoy our content. I'm very interested to see what people come up with to win the Switch OLEDs. And I know for a fact these guys are true to their word, and having Nintendo Switch OLEDs to give away, my word, that's pretty damn good. Check out the link in the top pinned comment, see what you can come up with, and I'll look forward to some of you saying, yeah, I want a Switch OLED. Awesome. For all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya!